Alright, response video to part of Corey Anton's video. Damn fucking camera. I knew this was going to be a problem. I knew it. I did. Anyway, I gotta make a bracket or something. I think that's probably okay-ish. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to play the last 6 minutes of this and see how it goes and such. I don't know which camera to use for volume now. It's all gotten fucked. But anyway, commencing.
God or gods or some notion of an order which is, I don't know, it's more than humanly constructed. I think the more that...
Yeah, it's more than humanly constructed. Now that means something like, alright, so there's an order in the universe that isn't a construct of human perception, but is a construct of the universe, or something. Look, God is an archaic concept. Just let it go. It's old, dumb news.
we reduce the order of the cosmos to human construction, the more that I guess we fall into what I would call, a very problematic orientation. I think there is something larger than the human. That
Yeah, larger, but yeah, the moon is bigger than we are. Lots of animals are bigger than we are. Well, not lots, but whales and elephants and such. Rhinoceroses. It's most humans anyway. But anyway, that's not the point. Larger, you mean in terms of some kind of what? What? So there's an intelligence behind the whole universe that's what? Playing the universe like a video game? That, it's like, yeah, my little blue marble got infected with reproducing chemistry, and look at them, they're fucking each other over and eat each other and shit, and it's really funny. Is that what's happening? Come on, what are you talking about? Like somehow the universe needed to invent a mess so then it could invent an intelligence to clean up the mess? I mean, come on.
I think is really part of the concern. Can we learn to see the ultimate cosmos as something infinitely larger than we will be? I think no matter how much...
Why even use a word like that? Why keep playing with a word like infinitely when you use it to mean something? I mean, using it in casually, there's no crime. But you're making a statement based on it. You're making a statement, and you have no evidence of any of this infinite. Okay? You got none of it. You got no evidence of it.
We gain control over maybe even our own bodies. There does seem to be much, much more, and again, I don't think that's even possible, right? I mean, I think in a lot of sense it doesn't even make sense, right? Will we control the weather? I mean, let's push that. Could we control the weather? Okay, we're going to control the weather, we'll control our bodies, we're now living forever, and we're now on ships that are going to go through the cosmos.
Yeah, right, and do what? I mean, the game is still going to be the same desire-motivated game, okay? And your desires are going to be, where's the McDonald's and where's the hookertorium? I mean, you're just not going to care about much else. So why all this bullshit? I mean, why try to say that life is something more than, a sad Shakespeare play? I mean, that's what it is. It's just tragedy waiting to happen.
Will the DNA strands, the genomes be of creatures in different places that have, I don't know, apparatus to detect magnetic fields and use sonar for communication and...
Yeah, well, there's that sonar thing coming up again. Sonar is not really great, okay? I mean, it's low band. It's you can do a lot more with higher frequency. Light. You can communicate a lot more with light, with images, with video. So, but so what? So we'll have somebody else. The aliens will have tentacles and blah blah blah. But they're still going to probably have some sort of reproductive apparatus, some sort of stomach that they're going to want to fill, and it's just defining what their potato chip is. So but why the pretense that life is doing something else besides consumption and reproduction, that intelligence is nothing but a tool that was evolutionarily advantageous, at least moderate intelligence. This high intelligence only happened once, and it could be as bizarre an aberration in terms of how we even acquired it. It seems pretty strange that we had, it seems out of the evolutionary trend that you would be given a potential that you weren't fully using. So there's a lot of rare circumstance involved in our existence, not common circumstance.
And communicate through different heat temperature variations in their body. I mean, the range of capacities that could be there it's hard, I guess, to get one's mind around it. I
Yeah, I think what's hard for people to get their mind around is just accepting the stupidity of our existence, the trivial nature of our nature, the unimpressiveness of the scheme that we're involved in. This is a scheme. This is a scam. This is a bullshit. And people just you don't want to admit that, but that's what it is. It's you know, it's winner takes it all, loser takes the fall. This is just bullshit. We are consuming each other. We're consuming the environment. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the game. And you can perhaps modify and try to perfect that, and that would be an admirable thing to do. But if you're doing it under some false pretext that there's a point to it in the end, that's just bullshit.
I do believe that there is life elsewhere. If anyone cares, I'm.
Yeah, well, it's fine to believe that, but you have to make an argument. You're not going to make an argument here explaining why that's a rational or logical belief. You're just going to say it feels good to me, and that's essentially it. You're just going to use the standard. Well, it's such a big universe, and well, we're here, so it must happen all the time. And it can be logically argued that no, that's just not that has nothing to do with the truth. If you really analyze the circumstance, there's a lot of evidence indicating that this reproducing chemistry thing just does not happen.
The universe is infinitely huge. It's bigger than we can imagine. The cosmos, I think, is more complex than a person can imagine.
Well, it's not, complexity is what? Counting how many beans are in the jar. If there's more beans in the jar, somehow the jar is more complex. I mean, if there's the same color jelly beans in the same basic vessel, does it really matter if there's more of them? Does that make it more complex? I mean, the universe is big, but the dynamics are very simple. They're not complex. The physics is, at its core, likely simple. I mean, taking for granted the quantum lunacy bullshit theories, I'm betting the physics is much simpler. And we certainly know that the common, our dimension physics is not that complicated. The cause and effects are understandable. The dynamics are understandable. And the universe is running, things spinning around things. There is not a ballet taking place in the universe. It's a crude dance that the cosmos is doing.
And the more that one could see the way that a little tiny DNA fragment on this planet, which is probably, again, this one little planet in one little place in what is infinite in comparison.
Yeah, but again, take 4 billion years. 4 billion years. It happened one time. One time.
Has figured out a way to haunt time such that I was able to wake to a body that has a wisdom millions and millions of years old, and I'm
Right, and that means you can tell three pig stories, and mouse ran up the clock stories, and golden goosey eggy thingy stories, and happily ever after dwarfy stories. You can tell a bunch of fucking stories, and that's all you're demonstrating is that you have through your infinitude and connection with the timeless, you know, ever optimistic whatever. Yeah, you can contrive and build yourself um, purpose out of bullshit, and that's all this is bullshit.
circulating my blood and I'm digesting my food and growing my hair, all with a kind of transcendence beyond the sheer surface that could be seen in the right here and right now.
Yeah, right. So we've traveled the infinitude ride so our body could rectify our penis. I mean, come on. This is you're just talking like this is some sort of mystical, magical ride to some place, and it's not. The ride is right here in front of us. It's put food in the old hungry mouth, okay, so it can fly out of your ass, um, and it's to stick your willy into the hoo hoo, because nature has made that a good time, and that's all there is here. There's no other game in town.
And again, I've said before, for my own, for each body that this DNA makes possible, it opens to a world in such a way that it does have a paradoxical eternality, such that it finds itself only after it's already begun, and it never.
Jeez, you don't find yourself after you've already begun, right, with a clean slate, though. I mean, what's the point of the always already being gone? No, because everything's erased. Okay, you don't start off with the past knowledge. You don't start off with your learn through infinitude knowledge. You start off a blank, dumb slate that just has a bunch of basic desires, and you have to go through the same learning curve process that millions of billions of humans have done before you. For what? And then when you count all the little animals that have lived through all the little horrors, just so we can make up stories about how, you know, this yellow bus is traveling through something other than a fucking goddamn waste. What do you call what do you call them? Waste reclamation facility.
Has to experience its own death. It somehow gets near death, and then, if it's saying it's dead, well, then it's not yet, right? You're still waiting.
Ugh, God. I mean, this obsession with death, as if death is the scariest boogeyman there is. I mean, that's something a fucking 7-year-old is afraid of. Okay, because it's just this generic, undefined. Oh, what do you mean I'm going to die? Everybody cries and has a horror fit every time somebody dies. So I certainly don't want to do that. And so yeah, they get a little obsessed about it. No, being dead is irrelevant. You're dead every night you go to fucking sleep. Okay, for most of that time, you're dead essentially. Your consciousness is out of business. Um, and so, yeah, death ain't so scary. Dying is scary. Okay, dying, um, you know, uh, under a flattened underpass, after an earthquake, dying while you're chewing your own fucking arm off. Yeah, that's something to be fucking afraid of. Death, no.
Those, to me, are the meta level caterpillar butterfly. They start to become not facts that I'm in awe of, but symbols of how much more there must be. It boggles the mind.
Yeah, right. More. More what? More planets, more moons, more suns, more fire, more fire, more fire, more fire, more fire. It's just photons, fella. There isn't more. There's just some energy caught up in little eddies and spirals in the universe, and it does little fucktarded things in these little whirlpools. Okay, but there's not much more. There's just whirlpools that are a little bit to the left and a little to the right, and some are blue and some are green. I mean, it's little subtle differences at best, but the basic dynamic is the same. If it's going to reproduce, it's going to have to consume to do it. and then you just end up creating little consuming machines that go out